back to another episode of Danganronpa 2, where we are oh so ready to head to Monokuma Rock, start the class trial, figure out who did the double homicide of Ibuki and Hyoko. Monokuma Rock must have been the other way, because this is taking an awful long time. My gut tells me soda. My gut tells me soda. And that's gonna break my heart. Because soda is like, soda's my man. Soda's been my man through this whole playthrough. I don't want it to be him. This is all that's left. We're really dwindled down now. So we got one more big guy, who's probably going to be here for the trial. Everyone who heard the announcement had gathered in front of Monokuma Rock, and it's soon enough.
Welcome!
I see everybody's here! Do you guys want to come to the class trial? Hey, jerk, hold it right there.
He's such
What?
a dumb child.
Don't get in my way. You're just a dumb little sister who's short of a few brain cells.
Hey!
My brain works just fine.
Hey!
Monokuma, what did you do with Nekomaru? I see. So you've come to avenge him. Avenge? That sounds like he died. Sounds like you say. Oops. Anyway, since Nekomaru is unfortunately unavailable today, let's just say he's absent.
Bye-bye.
Now then, I gotta go first.
I won't let you.
Hold on, I won't let you escape.
Hey!
Did you hear what he said?
Huh?
Don't worry about it. There's no way Nekomaru is dead. He's just trying to piss you off.
Damn it!
Of course he's not dead. There's no way. Not in a million years.
Well...
More importantly, it's best if we worry about ourselves for now. If something happens here, every one of us except Nekomaru will die. Why are you so excited about that?
How about it?
Who knows? Maybe I'm just looking forward to seeing poetic justice prevail.
What do you
What
get?
are you saying, fiend? You'll find out soon enough.
See?
Then let's go.
I'm gonna do it!
Alright, let's hurry up and get this over with. Yeah, you're right. Come on, Monokuma Rock. Spit it out. God. We stepped onto the escalator and ascended towards the gaping maw of Monokuma Rock. And that's when I suddenly noticed it. I noticed our line of silhouettes getting smaller and smaller. But I can't turn back now. If I turn back, I won't be able to press forward. And when everyone was inside Monokuma Rock, down we go. There's not much of us left. The elevator began its deep descent as usual. We're going to lose another one. But nobody said a word as we stood there trying to figure out what to say to each other. The elevator descended deeper and deeper. And when it descends as far as it could go, it finally stopped. The elevator doors opened slowly, almost tantalizingly so. Light poured through from the other side, eroding the boundaries of the darkness, and I walked into that place. My mind feels pretty toothless with all these empty seats. Well, two people got killed at the same time, and Nekomaru's not here either.
Hey!
Is Nekomaru... if Nekomaru's really not participating? If he's alive, you should invite him.
No, no.
Why bother?
That's...
What?
Well now.
Now then, let's begin. It's the beginning of a long-awaited class trial. Please enjoy it to your heart's content. And so the curtain to the third class trial was about to open. Ibuki Miyota, the ultimate musician. She was really loud, but she was the mood maker of our group. When I was with her, all of my pain and suffering just seemed to melt away. Hyoko Sayanji, the ultimate traditional dancer. Just from looking at her adorable face, you'd never know she was actually selfish and foul-mouthed. But she was trying to change herself, and she was desperately trying to come to terms with Mahiru's death. The person who killed these two is among us. I definitely can't believe it. But whatever I believe... Oh, but whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. Unless I figure out the truth, I won't be able to escape from this hell. That's why I must find out, no matter the cost, for our sake, for our friends' sake, for Ibuki and Hyoko's sake. And so the curtain to the third class trial was about to open. This life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. They always do a pretty good opening to it. Yes, I'd like to save my current progress. Let's save it down here on the class trial interrupted, just in case, because... what else skills? I have trigger happy set. Algorithm set. Do I have anything not set? I don't even have anything else unlocked. I don't think I bought any more. It's not saying he did. Nothing confirmed. Okay, so I can fudge stuff. Yeah. Increases your aiming speed. Sure. Let's get that. Let's get downshift. And then we'll set those. We'll set the skills. Oh, I can only do one. Reduces my aiming speed. Effective in the non-surface. Increases my aiming speed. Let's upshift it. What? I have it on me. Yeah, that's what I like. Finish preparations. Begin!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Hair back here. Hair goes back for this.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh well, who cares about this boring explanation?
I don't.
Let's get on with it already.
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Empty head? Huh. What's wrong with that? Listen up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Sure.
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Oh, well.
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 in the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms.
Somehow. Shocking.
We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was...
Ibuki, hanging yourself.
a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story. And then what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. But the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone. So I I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various ways.
Various ways?
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the four of us broke down the door.
Which was shut by a
When that
drumstick.
happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's, and not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, good for
Well,
you.
it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true? Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now.
Come
The
on.
story I just heard is clearly suspicious. Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
Lie? Why would I lie?
I hate this motherfucker all over
Obviously.
again.
So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
Should be easy. It's as Kazuchi said, Nagato's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. Damn it, I shouldn't have explained it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. Make my argument. Moto reviewed the scrap of thick paper, the surveillance camera, monitor, the move. Okay. Okay.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
But she didn't.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime is the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously because he's the killer.
I'm not.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault.
There we go. Okay. There is a contradiction. I need to find that.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
Paper.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie...
There we go. Movie's invitation
then the
page.
fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be...
I don't think I can. After all,
Why would Hajime...
Well, obviously because
Did Hajime kill both of them?
the fact that the bodies were imitating...
Boom! There's
No,
the
that's
contradiction. Because we only seen the movie today, you little bitch!
I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that.
So that's why you told me to hold on to it. Then why did you do this in the first place?
Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
hold on a sec. You're the one who brought this up in the first place.
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Don't get mad.
I want to punch him.
I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Pretty much, I think we
Now
all do.
then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it. Ibuki committed suicide.
Yes.
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, It's pretty clear what the problem with this case is.
The
The
order
killer
of death.
murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done it.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed
A
room?
room that you can't get into.
The killer
Can't get out
blocked the
of.
venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they
Correct.
blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
So that clears a handful of
If
people.
that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two, Sonia and Kazuichi.
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gonna be us?
The others all have alibis.
Honestly, to goodness, the truth.
Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
That's what I had whittled down to too.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru. Me too!
Hey, why are you talking like,
He's
huh?
entertaining.
You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making that joke.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall. Is this his professional skill?
The killer was inside the music venue. Hiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it? Okay, well, if they're not the music venue, that still puts Mikan on my radar. Semi-transparent glove. I need to go.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door?
Oops.
That door should not have had a lock.
It didn't.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
Yeah.
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they look like they had just rushed over.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have seen this in serial crime dramas.
Good for you. That person's remark contradicts the truth. I should be able to prove that with my evidence.
The killer was still inside the music venue.
Didn't mean to shoot that. Scrap
By
it,
locking the
fix it.
door from the inside,
Step ladder.
they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor.
Are you talking about the broken?
You can use that as a bolt. By doing that, the killer
gonna
waited
try
till
the
we got
glove.
and suddenly
So they look like
I have
They
seen this
don't
in
really
serial
have a
crime
clue.
dramas.
the killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside.
Yeah, the glove
that's
from the
wrong.
inside. Although you could have used the glove from the inside too.
Wait a second. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
They could have.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
It wasn't rubber at all. The semi-transparent glove was probably gum glue.
I see!
Yeah, glue.
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
What type of glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
I believe it is not something one typically
It's
eats.
not technically edible.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, They must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly.
But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so?
I didn't think so.
It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia. And me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
I'm still going on. Hiyoko died first.
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
You're still on my suspicious list.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
Yeah.
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Exactly.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
It was part of a rip-off from inside the storage unit. That scrap was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Now I should be able to figure out what it is. Curtain? Hangman's Gambit? Oh god! Oh god! I don't. Okay, W. Nope. L doesn't make sense either. I am dying here. Wallpaper. Gotta get rid of all this shit. Oh. No! God, this is just... I know I put it on mean, but come on. Ugh. Oh, Jesus.
I got it!
See, I thought it was a curtain, but it was wallpaper. But fuck! Trying to get all that going.
Scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
It is.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there? If so,
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
Good deduction.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that.
Yeah, it's alright.
But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
Captivated section of the baton lighting was part of the wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, the answer will become clear. Alright, let's give it a try. Logic dive. Right, I forgot about this. Okay. Thought I could make that jump. Gotta be going faster to make that jump. That'll be, here we go. When did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the time? It was hidden, it was brought there. Hidden. Easy. I wonder if this is how it actually goes on in our heads when we're trying to come up with shit, eh? Wouldn't this be cool if this is how our thought process actually worked? Question 2. When did the killer use the wallpaper? Obviously. So why do we need this logic dive? Ooh. I don't like this. Question 3. When did the killer hide her body with the wallpaper? Performed while they covered the pillar. I think they covered the pillar. Yeah. It's just, how did the killer hide her body with the wallpaper? They covered the pillar. That makes sense. It was already there, just covered in wallpaper. I don't know why I went the other way.
It's all coming together.
So when we look at the two sides, that body was there the whole time.
Got it. Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden
Because it was
body.
already taped up.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar,
I didn't even catch
realize
that.
at the time.
I didn't even catch that.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
This still, I think, clears Mikon, maybe?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar. So using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music video.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper, and because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on it.
But going to the trouble of hiding his body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
The crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Sure, to you maybe, but that's
Then-
nuts.
When was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
We know what it
Are you
is.
kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Oh, I just noticed my clock on my wall's really, really off. I don't know why.
put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hiyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you
Based on
that.
what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason the killer imitated the two victims in that movie, I should be able to explain that now. To let their accomplice escape, because they like movies, to mix up the killing order, the weapon.
I see.
Mix up the killing order. Yeah, that makes sense.
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Then Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
God, you're an
What
idiot.
a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right?
Yes, we know that.
means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
Good. It seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How right. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed.
Yeah.
How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
You're one to talk.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just going to talk in circles. I think it's best we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed. Completely alive. On the floor, apparently. Which, whatever. Blood on the souls. Blood on the souls. Easy. Easy! We're gonna find...
When Hiyoko died,
Yup.
Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
I have it.
Did you see her walking?
I have it.
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something? Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, I say!
Okay.
It doesn't even pierce my heart!
So, the blue ones is where I'm supporting it, right?
When
So I
Hiyoko
think I
got
can shoot
Ibuki's
the blue
feet,
to
I am telling you
support
to. Did you see her walk?
If her feet were on the... Was there any sign she stepped on?
it. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we can agree with a statement. I kind of forgot about that from the last game you took.
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers.
It
Slippers!
was not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Not a
Then
single
it's
one.
Hiyoko's blood!
Hiyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye!
Why are you so against it?
Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Why are you so against
Does
it?
that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Gundam, you need to stop. I'm gonna take you down in a rebuttal showdown. Rope used for hanging. Oh my god.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about to see a nice nightmare.
Despite his exaggeration, I feel like I've already seen opening the counter.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. See a nice nightmare. You're saying the blood on Ibuki's... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Yeah.
Allow me to cut through those words.
There was a smudge on the floor. Bitch.
That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things. You don't have proof of that at all.
Yes, I do.
Why is he so against it?
There's a
Did you
streak
do
on
it?
the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time. Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right?
Yes.
Even if they're
Obviously.
able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Maybe Gundam is
Actually,
suspicious.
the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
The time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file, just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then. But regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Like, you need to calm down, because you're kind of on my sus list now,
Now
for
then,
how defensive
let
you're
us
getting.
resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, that means there's no Blackened to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito, what do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
Not a guilty conscience,
That's
though.
totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead.
Okay, now
If she
you're getting a
waited
little
until
love
Hajime
here on me,
left,
Nagito.
That's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself, remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the kill.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind.
Dude, you've got a lot of issues
If
besides just one.
Ibuki didn't commit suicide, just what was that video Hajime saw?
She was told to do it.
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps. They used hypnotism or something?
Didn't need hypnotism.
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
Yep.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
It was live, baby.
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement.
Yes, sir.
And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
Okay, you're gonna... Soda, this is really still not looking good for you, my man. I got Fuyuhiko's account. That might be what I need.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
Yeah.
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
What about them?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
Fuck. Murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
Surveillance monitor.
And what about the
Fuku's
others?
Account, Sonya's account.
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
Nope.
Crap!
Okay.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane,
Didn't
right?
mean to shoot that.
Crap!
Meant to switch it.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane.
Okay, hold on. What's Sonya's account? Sonya was traveled because Kapano was traveled. So you apparently falling me at the storage. Okay. What's my other evidence?
And what about the
Okay,
others?
Mikon's account.
Right before the morning announcement,
Mikon's account. So. I hit Mikon. Okay, just want me to hit Mikon's account. Where'd it go? Right until the Monokuma announced that morning, Mikon was with Hajime the whole time. Afterwards, she went to the hospital. She realized that Ibuki disappeared, but she rushed to the hospital to keep Ibuki. Okay. So
I was totally sleeping in my motel
Okay,
room.
don't need to shoot that.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel. What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease,
If nobody has an alibi,
Mikon's account. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
No, that's wrong!
That makes sense.
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi.
Not everyone.
In fact, Mikon and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikon and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
Yes.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
No shit.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was? Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process? Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Obviously not, but I
Are you
can't.
saying there was another reason?
I don't know what the other reason would have
I
been.
feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
The killer had a different reason. If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Inside a trap set by one of us? If so, then whose? What kind of trap is it? It's gonna be break time, isn't it? Suspend.
Hiya!
Well, hello there, mon ami. The moss balls sure look tasty today. Stop it! Our character has to be someone who lives on moss balls. And here's some chance time. Aha, what's that? Now then, mon ami's appeal time starts now. Appeal time! Your kind-hearted big brother is gonna give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck, show those jerks who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss. That's 99% your fault. When you were whining, your time's already running out, so please make your appeal simple, about 30,000 words or so. That's too long! It's just... it'll just be a boring appeal. Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be merchandise opportunities heading your way. I'm Usami, magical miracle girl Usami. I'm an itty-bitty girl who's sweet like milk. Jeez, and I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
Who are you talking about? I have no clue whatsoever. I don't get what that was for. Yes, I want to save my current progress. On the prep time. Class trial reopened, though.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation.
Happens all the time. Anyway, guys, we'll finish the trial in the next episode. See you guys in the next episode of the trial. Take care till then. This has been Wild. Bye-bye.